Hi.
Oh my god. Honey. Alright, I'm gonna try not to make fun of him too much, okay? I am back. I know that all 506 of my subscribers missed me, and I missed you too. I've been gone for 2 months because I was homeless for a hot second because my landlord sold my place like a dickhead. But we're settled into a new place now and ready to get back to the grind of low effort reaction slop content that is hopefully insightful. So yeah, it's good to be back, and you know who else is back is our favorite 2010 era social justice warrior in praise of shadows. Quick recap on him. He is a horror film YouTuber. He makes like think pieces and critiques and breakdowns of horror movies. And he's not bad at it. A lot of his older stuff especially, I went back and kind of watched. I made a video on him. His stuff was pretty good. But 2 months ago, sorry, 5 months ago, he made a hit piece on Wendigoon in particular, but it also involved a bunch of other creators like Oompaville, Shoe on Head, Donut Operator, Brandon Herrera, just a lot of different YouTubers and content creators, basically saying that they were neo-Nazis, that they were far-right, alt-right people. He said of Wendigoon that he really had nothing of value to offer critique-wise of media because he grew up privileged and wealthy, which he has no evidence for. It seemed like a lot of his claims he just kind of like scraped Reddit for and threw up there unsubstantiated. And then there's just like a lot of loose kind of tangential things that he kind of pulled together and made a bunch of assumptions about. It was not good. It was a really shitty thing that he did. And we ate off of that for weeks. Content creators did. I made a video about it because everyone did, but also I had a particular connection to it because he lives in the city that I was born and raised in, Asheville, North Carolina. And a big part of it was his characterization of the area, that everyone in that area, you just have to assume is racist until they tell you or show you that they're not, which is just could not be further from the truth. Asheville especially is probably one of the most leftist and diverse cities on the East Coast, if not in America. Like, it's competing with places like San Francisco, Portland, places like that. Very progressive area. And then talking about like the outskirts, like Maggie Valley, Lake Junaluska. I lived around that area for a while. My parents still live there. And yeah, it's not super diverse in those kind of further out areas up in the mountains, but they still very much appreciate culture. There's the Folk Moot Festival in Maggie Valley where different countries come from all over the world to come and share like folk dances, their cultural music. It's really cool. And so a lot of the like Appalachian towns where you might experience a lot of these Appalachian towns are like, it's just people are poor and there is some ignorance there and some uncultured people there, but there's not a lot of hate in those places. Now, there is racism there, as there are everywhere. There's racism everywhere, but his characterization of the area was just utterly false. But the reason that he made that characterization in the first place was to say that because he knew the Asheville area and the Maggie Valley, Lake Junaluska kind of area, because he knew that area, he knew about the area where Wendigoon allegedly grew up, which is a place in Tennessee that is like a minimum 2 hours away from Asheville. So it just made no fucking sense. Like, you have no idea about the place where he grew up. You're just making assumptions about the place you live, which is hours away. And in that area in Appalachia, the cities can be vastly different. Like, you can drive 30 minutes and a city can be totally different from some other area. So it was just really dumb. So I felt the need to kind of clear the name of the area as far as that goes. But yeah, like I said, so many people made videos about him. It went mega viral. And I said at first, like, all he needs to do is like come out with a genuine apology and keep plugging along with his content, and this will all blow over. He did not do that. He crashed the fuck out. He posted apologies and then deleted them. He posted an apology on Patreon and deleted it. He was like crashing out in Discords and on Reddits. He did not respond well. He did not take the criticism well. He did not really understand what he did wrong. And so apparently now he is back. He made a new video on his main channel, but he has made like an apology video apparently on his second channel that is new. I feel like it should be on his main channel for all to see. It seems like maybe he doesn't want people to really see this apology. But obviously, commentary community has a hold of it, so everybody's going to see it. And we'll see what he has to say. See if he's learned his lesson, if he's apologetic, see how this apology rates as far as apologies go. First off, what the fuck is this aspect ratio? Did he film this in an old-timey film camera and then scan it into YouTube? What the fuck? All right.
Hi.
Oh my god. Hi. All right. I'm going to try not to make fun of him too much, okay?
I don't really know how to start this, so I guess I'm just going to start talking, I guess. It's been a while. Hope you've been okay. I didn't want to really use a script for this video because...
If you don't know, Asheville was hit very hard by Hurricane Helene. Devastated it, in fact. Like, Katrina level, New Orleans level destruction. So I do hope that he and the people he care about are okay from that.
Anything that I say will be talked negatively about. And if I'd used a written response, I felt like people would be like, oh, he's just, you know, doing this for PR. You know?
I don't care. Just get to it, bud.
I didn't want it to feel like a statement that a politician would put out. I just wanted to be me talking to you, human to human. So apologies if this is a bit rambly. This is a little different for me. I was just gonna talk. And I guess I'll start with kind of a big piece of criticism was that, like, I just sort of disappeared. And I did that kind of for two reasons. One was that, of course, like, anything that I said wasn't going to help the situation that was happening.
Yeah, what? You could have just apologized and moved on. But that's not what you did. You crashed out. You doubled down in some areas. You literally could have just apologized and moved on and kept plugging along with your content. That would have been fine. That would have been fine. And it's weird that he went away because he made it out like he was suffering financially, like barely getting by. And I don't know how you can take months off of what is assuming your only job if you're that down bad. So yeah, I mean, like, the whole, like, going away, it just doesn't really work, especially if you're going to come back and assuming he is really not going to understand why people had criticism for him at all, or why he should have apologized. Yeah.
And so I just left. And I didn't want to really talk about it, and this is the last time I'm ever going to publicly talk about the situation again. I just also felt that people would be kind of, like, annoyed if I, like, tried to, like, come back and start making things again.
No, nobody would care. Nobody would care. I mean, you're going to get the comments. You're going to get some comments, right? But you just got to keep plugging along. I feel like his issue is he's taken all of this way too seriously. He took it way too seriously from the jump with his initial video, basically calling Wendigoon and all these various content creators neo-Nazis. But again, like, and then he's taking the backlash way too seriously. I don't understand that personally. I'm on TikTok as well, and I regularly do pretty well on there. You know, I'll have a video do like over 2 million views, and like I don't even like I barely even read the comments. Like I don't even know how you can. Like it doesn't matter. Like I keep an eye out for like things I may have been wrong about or have been misinformed about, but for the most part, I don't give a fuck about how people perceive my content. You know, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. If you like it, then stick around. If you don't, then that's fine. But like I said, like he could have just kept going. He had so many ways, like at his fingertips. He had the skills, he had the audience to monetize off of, but like he had this like principled stance of like not wanting to make money off of his audience for some reason. And like he could have done it in a very like responsible, ethical way. He had a Patreon with like over 1,000 followers or subscribers that was totally free. He could have started charging for that, like a $1, $2, and $3 tier list, like at minimum, and offered some like additional content there, and that easily could have bumped him up like a couple of grand a month. And then like he was only putting out like maybe one video a month. He could have made some shorter videos, changed up his content, diversified, you know, going on other platforms as well. He had everything at his fingertips to make money, but he was going about it in like the most lazy way possible, and then whining about not being able to make money. You just can't do that. Like making money by making content is a privilege. And if you start like scalding your audience or whining about it, like it's in such poor taste. Don't ever do that.
And just pretend like nothing ever happened. I didn't want to do that. Also, like, I don't really know how to make this video because the history of like, you know, YouTube apology videos is like a format that is consistently made fun of for good reason. And I'm not anti-apology at all. I'm not. It's
You can tell he has overthought this so much.
just that, like, usually, like, someone who works on the internet will mess up and then, like, immediately will put out, like, an apology video and be like, you know, I'm not that person anymore. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've changed, guys. And it's complete bullshit. You know, everybody knows that it's bullshit because you're like, what do you mean you're not that person anymore? You just said that thing 2 days ago. Of course you're that person. And so, like, with my situation, I said I was going to be gone for a month. Clearly, I needed a break. I wasn't doing very well. And I ended up taking more than that because I wasn't ready to come back. And I really wanted to come back with something that showed what I could do. That showed that I would be willing to listen to criticism of me, because I always am. I always want to do better. And so I hope that the John Waters video has kind of shown that. This was kind of a wake-up call moment for me. So...
Okay, I haven't seen anything about any John Waters video. I didn't know he put something out new on his main channel. I don't follow him. So yeah, I don't know. Good for him for getting back in the game.
You know, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. And I guess one of the main things I wanted to talk about here is that, like, you know, when you do anything in a very public way that it isn't received particularly well, people are going to do two things, which is, like, ascribe a motive for why you did that thing, and also wildly speculate about yourself to put attributes onto you, you know, that often aren't true. And
this that's like exactly what he did to Wendigoon, to all the other creators in that video. Yeah, that's, people do that on the internet, man. And sometimes the like psychoanalyzing could be stupid and like way like very much reaching, but there was a lot to analyze with this dude.
And you know, I probably definitely am guilty of doing that in the past, even in the bad conservative horror movie video. So I kind of wanted to talk more about me here than other people, which is something I don't really do all that much. One of the biggest things that has kind of always surprised me my whole like career on YouTube is people thinking that I hate Christians. And I don't at all. I don't hate religious people at all. I myself am
like he gave off that vibe. He did. And you know, nothing wrong with criticizing Christians or any religion for that matter. But also, I don't think that you should be anti-religion or anti-Christian. There are plenty of amazing Christians, plenty of people who are amazing of all different religions. Religions can be harmful sometimes, though. And I think that pointing out areas where they are harmful is a good thing. But yeah, I don't think that he should be surprised that people get the idea that he hates Christians, because that's kind of the vibe that he gave.
a Methodist, and I have gone to annual conference with the Methodists for the past, I think, 4 years because I have an invested interest in how the church is dealing with LGBT members, which is an ongoing thing with the Methodists. I don't hate Christians at all. I can be very critical of Christians. I don't like evangelicals. I don't like proselytizers. And usually if I'm being critical of religious people, it's because they're using the religion as part of their online brand. And if you're like mixing money or your business with your religion, that is almost certainly like a perversion of whatever your religion is teaching. And, you know, I don't want to get into anything. I'm not trying to like double down here with what I'm saying in this. I'm not trying to like critique people. I'm just trying to talk about where I come from with things. Because I'm realizing like a big issue with my writing is saying something and just assuming that people understand what I mean. And
yeah, but also I don't think we want you to over-explain that much either. Like we could cut out this whole first 4 minutes of the video so far. This is Yappersville.
Instead of actually trying to explain my point more, because I cover a lot of points in videos, and sometimes I'm guilty of hitting a point really quick and then moving on. Especially because I kind of am also guilty of making a lot of my work assuming wrongly that people are familiar with my past and my like work as well. I kind of make every video, or did make every video, as a sequel to all of my previous work. And that kind of came up twice with the bad conservative horror movie video. One was an offhanded mention to Lovecraft that I talked about, where people are like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, and you know, like, because I had made like a 2-hour video about Lovecraft in the past, I felt like I could just make an offhanded, like, quick one-sentence reference to Lovecraft and it not be a big deal, and not explain it. You know what I mean? Because I just assumed people will get what I'm talking about because of that video. And
we get it, bud. We get it.
And another big one that came with is when I talked about race in Appalachia. A lot of people weirdly thought that I was northern or not from Appalachia. People were saying like, you know, Appalachia sends its regards and shit like that. But like, you know, I've lived in the Appalachian Mountains basically my whole life. And I made like a 2+ hour video explaining my complicated views of the American South with the Joanne Denton video, where I talked about how like I love North Carolina and how I've lived here my entire life and how much of an impact this place has had on me. But also to pretend that the South doesn't have a major problem with racism is like kind of insane. You know, and I talk in that video about like the heavy Klan presence in areas of North Carolina. I talk about casual social racism and stuff like that. So like, I felt like I was okay to make a one-sentence like throwaway thing because I'd already explained my position on that in the past. I don't hate Appalachians. I live here. And I have chosen to live here for a long time now. And, you know, the reaction to that in particular, I think, was really strong. And, you know, there was also a lot of criticism saying that, like, I didn't handle the situation gracefully.
So I don't understand, like, maybe he's going to go into explaining how he was wrong, but like right now there's no accountability. It's like, first off, like anybody who's not from Appalachia, just the way that you characterized Wendigoon and all the other people in that video should be a dead giveaway that you are not a good judge of character, that you are not a good judge of anything really, that you are very judgmental, just based off of aesthetics, just based off of vibes, really. And so I don't trust his view on Appalachia. I don't. Especially saying that, like, you just have to assume that everyone there is racist until they show you that they're not. And yeah, like, as I said, again, there is a problem with racism in the South. There is. But honestly, like, it's I just don't know how much worse it is here than anywhere else in the country. And again, the main issue there was him saying that because he knew about Appalachia, the Asheville, Waynesville, Maggie Valley area in particular, therefore he knows about the area in Tennessee where Wendigoon allegedly, supposedly grew up or lives now. And so, like, that's kind of the issue there that we had. The maligning of Appalachia was one thing. And like, Appalachia especially is like, it's not like racism so much. It's just poor people. Like, in the mountains, Asheville is very, it's very expensive to live there. So a lot of people there are very privileged, but like outside the outskirts, and like up into the mountains where people have lived in the same area for generations, there is a lot of poverty. And then there is a lot of ignorance as well about other cultures, but there's not like, it's not like the hate that you're going to find in some of the other areas, in North Carolina that are not Appalachia. Some of the areas like in South Carolina, in Georgia. It's just not, I don't know. It's like I said, there's racism everywhere. There's racism there as well, but like, it's just not this pervasive issue that he made it out to be. And it seems like he doesn't really understand what the issue there with that was.
Which I didn't. But also, I'd like to see anybody that would. You know, things got really intense there. My entire town a few weeks ago was basically...
All right, I'll go back. I missed something.
That in particular, I think, was really strong. And, you know, there was also a lot of criticism saying that, like, I didn't handle the situation gracefully. Which I didn't. But also, I'd like to see anybody that would. You know...
People have handled way worse situations much better than this. So it's like, he's just like, anybody would have done what I did. That's not taking accountability. You're still doing it.
You know, things got really intense there. My entire town a few weeks ago was basically destroyed from the hurricane. And like, there were like tweets still 5 months later saying, well, at least In Praise of Shadows probably died in that. You know,
boo fucking who? I'm sorry. Like, I don't condone people doing that, but that's like, when you get past a certain point of like notoriety or followership on the internet, that shit's just gonna happen. Boo fucking who? Don't condone it, but it happens. Like, you can't use that for sympathy points.
Things were really, really hot and uncomfortable. You didn't see the best side of me in that. And that's all that I can say is, it was a bad day for me. It was a bad period for me. You know, I was kind of made in...
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have any sympathy. Like calling out Oompaville and then posting a photo of him with his, like, sick dad. Like, that was fucking disgusting. Honestly. And then all the people that you slandered. I don't know. There's zero sympathy. Sorry you got a mean tweet.
Into this like cartoon character where I am impossible to get along with people who are on the right, which is actually not true at all. I know this sounds like made up, but the guy that I hired to work on the set with me for the John Waters video was wearing a Make America Great Again hat like the entire time we were working. But he does a good job, and that's just the realities of living in the American South.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Especially in Asheville, you would be hard pressed to find "Make America Great Again" hat in Asheville. Did you seek him out, or did you just already know him and you're friends with him? Like, I don't know what this is supposed to say. Like, you hired a guy and he happened to be MAGA and you didn't bitch about it. I don't know. This is not it, Chief.
I am not this insane person who, like, it's impossible to get along with. So, yeah. And with the Appalachian thing came an added commentary that I was kind of surprised about, where a lot of people said that I hate poor people, or I look down on people, that I, like, hate lower income individuals, which, like,
It very much came across that, I wouldn't say, he's characterizing it in the way that he wants to characterize it so that he can attack it in the way, or address it in the way that he wants to address it. But it did very much come from a place of privilege. As I said, Asheville is a very expensive city to live in. It's like on par with like Los Angeles. It's very expensive. And so if you are living there, you are making decent money. And based on his YouTube channel size and everything, he seemed like he was probably making decent money. And so, like, that's a valid critique, because you are privileged and you did come off privileged, and that's worth addressing. But you're going to characterize it as if we're saying that you hate poor people, and I don't know if that's a fair characterization.
a lower income individual in Appalachia. Like, I don't hate anybody like that. I don't
But like, just like based off of what? Like, you're not.
hate anybody at all. I think that everybody should have their needs met no matter what they believe. You know, as far as like reviews are concerned, I am gay, and with that comes like a certain level of snobbery with like the arts and stuff like that. But because I like have high expectations of works of art does not mean that I hate poor people. Okay.
I don't know what to do with that.
Okay, I don't think that certain people should be in power. I don't think that certain people should have social power. And in that, I kind of want to get into the conservative video itself. Okay, so in the like hating poor people thing, apparently,
Guys, I don't hate poor people, but I am gay, so sometimes it comes off like I hate poor people. What?
I also don't like normal guys. And like the thing that's kind of funny about that is that like kind of this whole situation came about because I was a normal guy. So like I'm notoriously difficult to get a hold of. And that's because I'm not really online at all. I don't tweet. I genuinely don't spend much time on Twitter at all. I don't have any other social media.
Bro, you're so hipster, dude.
Before this, I was getting on Discord like once every like 6 months. For the most part, I'm not friends with other online content creators. I probably watch in between 3 and 5 YouTube videos a month. And that is not like a dig at other YouTubers. That's not saying
That tracks a lot. Like, it just came off that he was utterly oblivious about any of the content creators he was talking about, of like YouTube culture, of, yeah, I don't know if he like decided to get on the internet for the first time in his life to talk about like Wendigoon and Oompaville and Donut Operator, all these guys. But that makes sense.
think that they don't make excellent work, because there's a lot of great work on YouTube. But like it comes to like this thing where like back when I used to make comics, I would draw comics all day, and the last thing I'd want to do when I finished drawing for 10 hours would be to like pick up comics and read them before I went to bed. You know, like I didn't want my entire existence to be comics. I wanted inspiration from everywhere in my life. And so I used to watch a lot of YouTube, like back before I was a YouTuber. But then I started making videos, and you know, I make videos all day long, and I don't want to like turn around and then like watch more YouTube videos. So like when I say I don't watch like a lot of YouTube, it's not to put down other creators, but just to try and to explain how this situation happened, because
Yeah, I can't relate. I watch YouTube all the
the
time.
why is kind of, you know, self-apparent. And so when you're not an online person, but you feel compelled to write a piece about online culture, looking at it from a distance, trying to figure out what is real, it's a different kind of research. And I totally was not the guy to do that job. I felt like it was important. I felt like nobody else would do it. And I knew that the reaction was not going to be good. I knew it was going to be...
I'm just telling you, like, if Wendigoon was like a neo-Nazi, like Proud Boy, Boogaloo Boy member, if all these people were like that, if Oopaville was like that, like I would make videos on that. People would be making videos on that. If you look around and nobody is talking about that, that should be like a red flag for you.
Be bad. So kind of most of my mistakes and problems came from that, though, because like I didn't know who Sneako was before I made
so again, like he's just utterly oblivious, like, oh, I'm just a gay little art hipster, and I didn't know, I didn't know, so I'm sorry, like, what do you want from me? That's how it's coming off right now.
That video. And I didn't really know who he was when I posted that video. And so while it's like really serious, and I admit that, and I am sorry, I took the video down like immediately because
oh yeah. He oh my god. Oh my god. I totally forgot about like the SA allegations that Sneako totally fabricated, that this dude here made up. It was against Oopaville, right? I guess. I can't remember. I think it was against Oopaville. And he was just like, whoa, yeah, I mean, this Sneako guy said it, so it must be true. Like, it just shows like how little research he really did. Like, he just like spiraled on Reddit for a while and like grabbed a bunch of stuff and then made his decision and made this incredibly damning video, and harmful video. Like that was insane that he did that. And again, it's just like he is trying to garner sympathy here. He is trying to make it seem like he is the victim, really, and he just kind of had the best of intentions but made a little mistake, and that's not what happened.
Realized the video had major problems, but like it also at the same time, in retrospect, is a little bit funny that I tried to be like, this guy's the fucking worst, at least, you know, according to Hitler. And like, you know, I fucked it. I fucked it pretty bad. And there's not really a lot else I can say about it. You know, what's done is done. I can't take it back. But also ultimately,
again, like he's talking about how like he just assumes that people are going to know what he was talking about. He really should have been, if this is like an apology clearing the air, he should be specific about the allegations that he used, that Sneako made up, and apologize for that. He's being very vague and not really being direct about what he did and why it was wrong, and apologizing for it.
That's like what a whole section of YouTube is about. I may have done that really badly, but like there are channels that just exist just to talk shit about people like all the time. And I don't want to be that guy. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to escalate the situation. I'm just trying to describe my perspective of how this happened, because at the end of the day, everything's fine. You know, I fucked up, but also nobody that I mentioned in that video was harmed at all. You know, everybody's doing...
Based on what? You talk to them all individually? Oh boy.
Fine, and that's kind of like how that genre of YouTube works anyways. The whole drama machine ultimately just exists for money. And I shouldn't have been a part of that. I shouldn't have contributed.
Jesus fucking Christ. This fucking... Why make this video? Literally nothing changed. You learned nothing. You learned nothing. I don't know what to say. This guy's giving me a fucking headache.
That I felt like there were important points to make. I did not word them well. I had no fucking chill. I could have done pretty much everything in that better, but you live and learn. You know, I don't know.
There was literally nothing in that video that was worth talking about. Nothing. Nothing in it was, none of the research that he did was relevant. None of the points that he made were relevant or real or worth talking about. He thought that Wendigoon particularly was a bad far-right person that was making the content space of like scary, spooky horror stuff bad, making it worse. And he brought zero evidence of that and zero good points. He had no points. Should not have made the video. It wasn't like, well, I could have done better, and my points were valid, but I could have been more chill about it, I guess. Like, fuck you.
I don't know what else to say. Other than I will do better, and I kind of want to get into like personal criticisms against myself now, because I think that's a good segue. So like, with that video, there was a lot of comparison to the Dan Olson video that came out soon after mine and the Hbomberguy plagiarism video. There was a lot of like comparing the three of us, and I think like the only commonality between those three videos is YouTubers talking about YouTubers, with two of them being good videos and one of them being like a really bad video. But people were ascribing like saying that I was jealous, and that's why I was making that video. And
yeah, I mean, it very much came off that way, as Wendigoon being someone who has way more success than you, works harder than you, makes more money than you, but does it as a right-wing person. Like you literally said that he had no business in the area. He had no business critiquing or offering any sort of meaningful critique of media because he was raised rich, even though you have no evidence of that. So like, you said that he has nothing of value to offer. That's not just like a poorly worded video.
I just want to say I am not a jealous man, and I never have been.
Big if true.
I have never made a single video on YouTube to chase trends. I have never made a video because someone made a popular video like that. You know, that is not the kind of guy that I am, and I never will be. I've always made what I think is interesting.
We get it. You're a hipster who stays true to your art. We get it. But it really seemed like somebody else who was encroaching in your space, your niche of content, and was doing way better than you at it, seemed like you had a big problem with that.
What I am compelled to do, what I think is right to do. You know, I can definitely work on my tone with critical pieces, but like I wasn't...
Tone was 0% the issue. You were talking in the same tone that you're talking right now.
Doing that video as a ripoff of somebody else's style. You know, for better or worse, that video was authentically me. And to prove that, you can go back and watch the video on Encyclopocalypse that I did the previous summer that has like the exact same tone and wording and style and presentation of that bad conservative horror movie video. You know, they're very, very similar. I feel like as far as critically, this was very me. If it came across...
I just, oh my God, there's just so much useless yapping in this. It doesn't matter if it was you or not. We get it.
As being
it was you. It's not the tone that was the issue.
Off of somebody else. That was not the goal. You know, I feel like that came across to some people and not to some people, but that's all I have to say on that. But similarly to the Encyclopocalypse video, I wasn't trying to ruin anybody's life. I wasn't doing this...
Citation needed? Like, I don't know how you can... I mean, that it was just a straight up hit piece. It was a straight up hit piece. There was no like constructive criticism. It was just a slanderous, disgusting hit piece, honestly. So I don't know how we're supposed to construe that as any other way than you trying to deplatform people. Because that's literally what you said, that these people should be deplatformed.
It's because I wanted a lot of views. In fact, I did know that people were going to hate this. You can go back on my Twitter, and like weeks before I posted it, I said, my next project people are really going to hate. If I said that people are really going to hate this, then that doesn't line up with the narrative of me doing it because I wanted to be popular. You know, with the jealousy thing, like, it feels very strange to me because to my ears, it's like critiquing the president and saying something that you don't like that the president did. And then somebody saying, well, you're just saying that because you want to be president. And like, no, I assure you, I don't want to be the president. Critical pieces can exist on people without them like destroying people, and I actually say that in the Bad Conservative Horror Movie video. I said with the John Squire section of that video that I don't want to ruin people's lives because of things that they've said, that I think that we should be forgiving and open to people changing. And if it was just some like dumb thing said like as an 18-year-old, who gives a shit? Everybody said really dumb things when they were a kid, and that shouldn't be held against them. I just saw things that I disagreed with from people that I felt like had a big public platform.
But you didn't really show that. You showed a lot of like tangentially, mostly unrelated, vibey-based things, and then constructed an entire narrative around it about the kind of person that Wendigoon was. If you had evidence that Wendigoon was some far-right nut job, you should have shown that evidence. You should have came with hard evidence. You came with dubious Reddit posts, 4chan posts at worst, with Twitter comments. That's what you came with. You did not make an argument at all.
Being critical of that doesn't mean that you want their lives to be ruined. You know, I ultimately was making that as an invitation for wanting people to do better. And if the one person who comes out of Bad Conservative Horror Movie deciding to do better is me, then that's a good thing.
I don't know what the issue here is. I don't know if it's naivety, like he's just so naive, like he said, he's not online, he's just so innocent, he doesn't know anything, or if he's just dumb, or if he's just arrogant, or a narcissist, or deeply insecure. I don't know. I don't know what could possess someone to make the video that he did and then have the response afterwards that he did and then make this video months later. I don't know.
You know, one of the major criticisms of me that came up a lot in that time period was related to citing sources.
It's just so me. A good apology video, if you're going to make an apology video, is clearly stating what you did wrong, how you hurt others. And he is clearly saying nobody got hurt. So really, this is all just trying to save face. It's trying to manage his appearance. That's it. And he is doing such a bad job of it. Even the most insincere of people could script a good apology. But this is I don't know. I think he's sincere in how shitty of a person he is. Sorry.
Which I fully upfront admit I can be a lot better at. And starting from now, I will be. The John Waters video, if you go and look at it, has a full works cited in the description. Historically, I do try and show where I get my information from, but I always tried to do it in a visual way. Historically, I would say according to Variety, and then I'd throw up a screenshot of the Variety article, and post that so everybody could see the title and where I got it from, but being done in kind of a fun visual way. Clearly, people don't really like that, so I can do a full traditional works cited where I list everything from now on. I
don't even care about that as much in what do you call it, a movie review or critique. As long as you're not plagiarizing. If you're directly quoting stuff, obviously give the source for it. But when you're making a hit job video like this, like he did, without like giving your sources, that's a big deal. When you're doing like journalism exposés like that, you need to cite your sources.
My entire career, I have tried to approach everything with compassion and understanding and love. And you don't have to believe that, but I hope that my track record shows that.
I feel like I feel like most normal people, like, they want to believe that's how they're living their life. But I mean, there's just so many blind spots that can cause us to treat people very poorly, while at the same time that we feel that we are being loving and compassionate and kind. And if we're not willing to take a step back and see how we're hurting people with our actions and take accountability for that, then maybe we're not acting in compassion and love and kindness. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're acting in our own self-interest, or maybe there are certain biases that we have not unpacked.
You saw me on a really bad day. And I have tried for the past 5 months to really reckon with that and actually confront that. You know, I didn't want to put out like...
So again, like, my thing is like, again, he did not kill anybody. He did not commit a crime. What he did was unacceptable. It was unacceptable. Like, there's no excuse for it. But again, it's not something that you can't come back from. But this is not how you come back from it. This is not how you do it. Yeah, like, it's coming off that he wants to be seen as like this misunderstood artist that had the best intentions, and he just got a little too crazy with it. But like the timeline, following the timeline of that Hills Have Eyes video from, like, I guess a year and a half now, maybe, of him getting the backlash on that and spiraling from it, and talking about how he's losing money and losing viewers, and how he doesn't know what to do, and how he feels attacked by Wendigoon even though he wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to see it how he is trying to portray it, if that is the truth. It just comes off as someone being very insecure and very privileged about their opportunity on YouTube, about their place in the niche that he is in. Yeah.
An apology video 2 days afterwards, because nobody learns things in 2 days. That's just reacting. It's not...
It's not... You can learn things in 2 days. You can learn that a majority of what you said in your video was just false, or came from people who made that stuff up. You could learn that. You could learn that slandering someone while posting a photo of them with their sick father was disgusting. You could learn that in 2 days and apologize for it. But it seems like he is more focused on his image. He wants to, he's focused on how his apology is going to appear to you versus what the right thing to do is. So we're going to wait 5 months because we don't want to be like the other YouTubers that come out with a fake apology. I'm going to wait 5 months because I've learned all the lessons, and I'm going to give a genuine apology, which we have 2 minutes left. Maybe it's coming. I haven't heard it yet. So
listening to what people say and acting. And there's a big difference there. And like everyone, I'm a work in progress. You know, I want to be the best me that I can be. And I'm not saying that to protect my money. I'm not saying that to protect my reputation. I'm saying that because it's true. And if I wanted to protect my money, you know, or my reputation, I would have done this on like the main channel.
This comes off. No, you should have put it on the main channel. You should have put an apology out there for everyone to see. This feels like you're hiding it to protect your money. So it's just so hard to take him seriously. It's so hard. I don't know. Like, if he wants to stay out of this, like, he should just stay out of it. Just keep making your movie videos. People are going to keep watching them. Probably a lot less than used to, but that's on you.
You're only watching this if you sought this out, you know? So it is what it is. People can think what they want of me. I will continue to do better. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm sorry for everything. Genuinely, where I fucked up, for not having any chill, for just being a kind of an asshole. So I guess that's where I'm going to leave this.
That could have been the whole video. That could have been it. That's all he needed to say. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I was an asshole. I will do better. That's it. We did not need 18 minutes of this. We did not. Unless he wanted to go further in detail about how fucked up he was with that video.
I'm going to be doing more videos on here. I'm going to try and do like near weekly videos on here. I think that's kind of fun. I'm going to try and do, they won't be unscripted like this. They will be scripted, but they will be shorter form. Like I'm aiming for like 10 to 20 minute videos on like obscure, weirder movies. A lot of them not really good movies, but interesting in their badness or amateurness, you know? And hopefully that'll be a good time. And then
So that's what I initially said he should do, is like branch out, do something a little different. He was making like very long form videos, like once a month or more, and pulling like, I think it was like 300 to 400K a video, which is not bad. But again, he's complaining about money. So it's just like, you know, you're putting so much effort into each of these videos. Like you could be cranking out like, and I understand like the desire to not just make slop. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm fully aware that I am just making reaction slop content. But it's low effort and I don't have to like prep a lot for it. I can just give my thoughts on things. I don't have the energy or the desire right now to put time into like scripting out high effort videos. And so, you know, and I was just like, he could do like shorter 20-30 minute videos weekly or a couple more a month at least. Start that paid Patreon, get on TikTok maybe. There was just so many ways for him to be making more money than he was. And it just seemed like he wanted to stay true to himself as an artist and only make like the most high effort stuff on his own time. And it's just like, I get that. That's totally fine. But if you're going to make this a career, if you're going to make this a job, if you're going to live off of this, you have to be somewhat business minded as well. And that involves making more content and providing more value to your audience so that you can make money off of them, because that's what we're here for at the end of the day. This is, even if you're doing fairly low effort content, it takes effort. And you know, you should be able to make at least a little bit of money off of it if you are doing full time and you're good at what you do. And like I said, in the past, I think his videos were good. He's a good writer. He was a good communicator. I don't know what happened.
For the main channel, I'm just going to focus on like really big videos there that I put like everything I have into, you know, like I did with the John Waters one. So what I'm going to do on the main channel is probably like every other video, like I'll do like franchise video, then big video, then franchise video, then big video. Or I'll find like a rhythm that works and is kind of fun and I'll listen to people and stuff like that, you know. This has put me in a weird place, but a place that has allowed me growth. I had been in a rut for a while. You can see the cracks all over a lot of my work, you know, like kind of from at least the Carrie video on. I just had a lot going on in my life. I was going through it, and I don't even want to talk about that because people will be like, oh, he's scapegoating things, and, you know, but I fucked up. And I guess that's all I could say. So, yeah, I'll do better. Thanks for listening for this. I know this was kind of rambly. Sorry if that was kind of hard to follow, but I'll do better.
Well, that was cringe. I don't really know what else to say about that. I mean, it seems like he is not interested in really coming off as apologetic to anybody that he hurt or acknowledging that he even hurt anybody. I don't know what the point of apologizing is if you're not going to admit that you hurt people or harmed people with what you did. Especially as someone who would probably say that like words are violence. It feels like this video was just for his audience, his loyal followers who are like on the same page with him and agree with him. To be like, yeah, I mean, I'm coming back, so I guess I need to address this, but I'm not really going to take responsibility for any of it. So that was disappointing. Interesting, for sure, entertaining, but disappointing. So, I mean, I feel like at this point he is obviously a lot of the commentary community is going to cover this. I've already seen a few videos on this, but after this, I feel like he is just going to go back to his kind of run-of-the-mill content, which, you know what? Hey, best of luck to him on that he does grow more in the future. I hope that he doesn't make slanderous hit pieces on people again. And yeah, that's it. If you enjoy low effort slop reaction content that is insightful though sometimes, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to do this as a part-time job to make a little extra money every month, something I enjoy doing. And if you like more politically focused stuff, you can follow me on TikTok. That's what I'm focused on there. Way more laid back here, and covering like a more variety of topics. But if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Have a good one.